Well, it wouldn't be a fucking it wouldn't be a VTuber stream if there weren't at least a little bit of scuff. Fucking VTube, why? Voice mod, why did you choose today to fucking update, you bitch? Alright, fine, we're here. Okay, yeah. Welcome in, everyone. Thank you for being here. Appreciate it. Oh, the scuff beginneth. This is what happens every time I take a fucking break from streaming. I always forget something. Oh, and now voice mod chooses to hold up a moment. I change back to voice mod as my audio situation. Virtual, where is it? Virtual cable? Voice meter? No. Voice meter. Oh god, I'm lost in the sauce. Someone help me. I need an adult. Oh, here we are. So with Mike. Voice mod. What the? Why were you trying to use my fucking Quest headset? That doesn't make any sense. Clap of encouragement. Okay, we should be properly fixed now. But welcome on in, everyone. Thank you for being here. I appreciate it. The scuff has passed. Welcome on in, Subi, Layla Bela, Delos. We got Beanie Shiba. We got Warriors Fingers, Keyblade War here. We got Adam Mimer. But Tish. Golden Toast. Buck the Wolf Bear. Delofter Dog. Welcome on in. Glad to have ya. Then Long Sarky, can't we just call human flightless bird? At this point, we have arms. Those are wings. Basic. Thanks for the Aristotle has returned. Ass clap of encouragement, I swear to Christ. But yeah, I was wondering if it was being quite on my end. No, tech issues. I also realized it might be a little bit on the loud side. But yeah, tech issues, as is obligatory. I'm back from AC. AC is so much fun. And I am just so physically exhausted. But I legit could not be happy with how the trip went. So I kind of wanted, because I figured since telling the story, like, kind of reliving the AC experience with stories. AC was amazing, wish we met there. I'm sorry, I tried my best to meet everyone. As I was like leaving, I'm like, I think I met everyone that I said I wanted to meet, and then like I realized on the way home, I'm like, fuck, there's this one person, and like, I'm sure there were people who were trying to find me. Someone found me twice. Once in like on the general floor, and then once wandering around the rave that I went to. But that's I'm getting ahead of myself. Pokemon Race, but glad to have you. So the story of my AC trip actually begins the night beforehand, where because we had our Canadian imported air. There was smoke in the air, and for whatever fucking reason, Thursday evening at like. I think it was like 4 o'clock in the evening. A massive fuck-off windstorm with 70 or 80 mile per hour winds comes through my area, which is good because it got rid of the smoke, but bad because it knocked out my power and almost fucked up my sleep schedule. So, yeah, I had to. Luckily, it came back. I'm just a couple of friends to sit on meet. That's the thing. It's like AC was so busy that like if I think there's one key secret to avoiding post-con depression is to be so exhausted by the end of a convention that there is zero shot you would have had the energy to do anything else. Welcome on in, Darius. Glad to have you. Also, I just realized I need to actually shout out the streamer beans. I think it's Delos and Darius for now. Go follow them. Delos for the big muscular men and Darius for the comfy snow vibes. Yeah. So Thursday night, the power came on just in time for me to actually like get rest, although I slept basically none at all. 5 o'clock rolls around, 5 a.m. I drive 2 hours over to Papa and Mari's house, and I actually have breakfast there. Thank God Mari, I really should reach out and be like, hey Mari, thanks for the breakfast, because the 3 breakfast sandwiches she made were legitimately the only food I would have for another 8 or 9 hours. Because we ended up, thank God. Also, Papa like drove us from Ohio all the way up to up to Pittsburgh. And if you've never been to Pittsburgh, very lovely city. Welcome on in, Chill. Glad to have you. Very, very lovely city. It's impossible to get anywhere there and there's restaurant, like the restaurants are genuinely difficult to find. So you know, we ended up getting to my local FurCon this weekend. Starkey, that's awesome. It's Pittsburgh was so okay. I have so much praise for Pittsburgh as like a city now, because the experience of going to the, you know what, fuck it, we'll just kind of throw this by here. I was part of the fursuit parade, which actually like let me see if I can find my post. What is that? I love the Delos loading icon. Okay, where is window capture? There we go. This should be the one. Oh god. No, that's yeah. So I went to the fursuit parade, which was legit so fun. It's what's crazy to me about like the experience of going to AC, especially the fursuit parade in particular, was how many locals turned up. Welcome on in, Slush. Glad to have you. So the fursuit parade was on Saturday. Tall. I am a very tall verb. The fursuit parade was on Saturday, yes. So, you know, it started at 2, and me and Papa were like, okay, well, you know, we'll return to our room at 1 o'clock and get ready, and then by the time, you know, we'll head out. Thank God we got there at 1 o'clock, because we ended up leaving at like 1:30 after getting ready, and we barely made it there in time. Like, as they were starting, I saw this on Twitter, how much time did you have to wait before you got to go? That's the thing. Because I talked to Maple about that. I saw Maple at the streamer meetup later, and she was like, it was basically like a first in last out situation. Like if you were one of the first people to appear, you were one of the last people to actually walk the path. So because we got there literally as it was starting, like I was barely able to put my head on, and I was struggling to get my talons on. We ended up getting like basically shunted to the front of the line, which was really cool. And the amazing thing about it, those damn talons, a little bit. The problem was trying to get them on while the fursuit head was on, and like also moving, and also trying to help Papa like make sure that he's good. So you know, I wanted to hug you so bad, Jindalburb. It's I gave out so many hugs. I was dying to have to wait an hour and a half in the suit. Yeah, that's the thing. Because, like, according to Maple, it's Maple Doe, she was, like, one of the last people to actually make it, because they had, like, basically a holding suit. I gotta head out, transporting. Stay safe, Adam. Hopefully your flight goes well. I'm gonna take a nap, but I wanted to need a hello first. Hey, Monkey. Glad to see you. Can't wait to see you on tomorrow for July 4th celebration. Gonna give you such a fucking squeeze. You have no idea. Yeah. So, you know, yes, on tomorrow for tomorrow. So, you know, it was like a first and last out situation. So if you were there early, you probably had to like wait so long. And my understanding was like, you know, we were one of the first, me and Papa were one of the first suitors to finish up. Hey, Sharky, welcome on in. Sorry I missed you at AC. It looks like an awesome time, though. I'm so sad. Sharky, seriously, I think every single one of us is going to fight the fucking air flight company that pulled that bullshit on you. Because, good God, it was genuinely unfair. Like, you deserved way better than to just be kind of like last minute, nope, you can't go to AC. But yeah, let's see. So, you know, my understanding is that the parade ended up going on for about 2 hours, because me and Papa were one of the first people to actually like go out, and so, you know, as such, we were you know, like we were the first ones to finish up, which meant that there was a kind of a gap in time, where, you know, because if there's one thing I'm sad I wasn't able to do, there was a check-in desk where if you brought your fursuit, they would give you a special badge, and I wanted one so bad, but for the fursuit parade, it literally rained. Like it rained a pretty hard amount, like 30 minutes before the fursuit parade started. So it was a muggy friggin' hydrous disaster. Like I legitimately was sweating so hard, and the escalator also broke for like 5 minutes. So like there was apparently a gap of 5 minutes where like the parade just was not progressing because no one could actually get down the escalator. But yeah, so Chicago got flooded last night quite a bit. Oh no, hopefully everyone's safe. But yeah, oh god. So, you know, walking through the convention center is fine in fursuit. It's very, very hot still. If you've never been in a fursuit for an extended period of time, I have immense respect for fursuiters after doing this, because Jesus Christ almighty, even like the 20 minutes we were in fursuit, I was drenched in sweat. Your Papa suits are incredible. Aw, oh, thank you. In Italy, there is one part of it that's missing. My goggles, which refused to stay on. Only 5 minutes. Minutes were at least... Only 5 minutes? Minutes was at least a day. Yeah, welcome on to Apex Rex. Glad to have you. It still broke when I left the hall since I had to do a single file line. That's probably what ended up happening. Yeah, we're fine. People brought a kayak and a floating in the streets. Oh my god. But yeah, I have goggles for my fursuit. The problem is they never want to stay on, and since this is a parade situation, I don't want to constantly be like, oh shit, I dropped my goggles, so I just left them off and wandered around. Also, huge thanks to Sir Drew the Free, who was a photographer who was just taking pictures of people in suits, because I had zero shot to actually get any suit pictures in, because of how spectacularly busy we were. Like I said, we got there and effectively the parade immediately started. So, the process of like actually going, like, you know, going up to the room, we got there so late that we got shown into a side room instead of the room where all of the fursuiters were, and they just kind of like channel us into the my goggles. I can't see without my goggles. Jinkies. Partial means a godsend. I love and hate Digigrades. Digigrade suits look so cute. Here, this is the also like if I ever do summer fursuiting again, I need to get one of those like cooling jackets, because Jesus Christ, it was so spectacularly hot. It was like impossible for me to figure out what was going. Like, you know, it was like 15 minutes, and I was just massively dehydrated. And if I'm able to go to MFF, I will give you a hug so bad your back will pop like bubble wrap. I'm counting on it. If I see you, which I will be going to MFF again. I need to get more stickers for it, because I did have 2 stickers, which I actually have pictures of somewhere here. I got the Starkey 17 knife and Starkey 17 board printed. Starkey, where can I send a photo of my suit that I brought? I want to show you. Probably over the Discord. That's probably like the best place to reach out to me. Yeah, these ended up doing super well. People absolutely love them. I think I ended up giving out probably close to like half, if not a little bit more. It's funny to see who picked what, because there's such a different energy. Oh, and on the topic of these stickers, I went to the legendary. Hold up, let me go ahead and go to my image source. Where is it? Yes, you. I went to there is a light pole that is famous at so there's this taco place in Pittsburgh that is literally right across the street from the convention center. It's called Condados Tacos. Super duper good. Right outside of Condados Tacos is love Condado Tacos. It's so good. Yeah, there's like the sticker pull outside of Condados Tacos, and me being a tall ass motherfucker, I was able to stick the board right here, which I feel bad because apparently I covered over someone else's stickers. Started here in Columbus. Ooh, that's awesome. But there's a yeah. So this is to give you an idea of kind of how high up this is. Like, let me actually see if I can show off. Like, this is about like the high part of like where a lot of the stickers were put. Like, these stickers reached basically to the base of and covered the entirety of this pole. And I was able to reach up and place it up here. Apparently I covered someone else's, but the board was there to stay, hopefully. These were pretty big stickers. I also did stick a knife up on there. I don't know how, if it's still there. It was kind of like a slapdash, like last minute, because we were finally able to go in and get tacos from Condados. So, you know, great to leave a souvenir behind for the entire city. And yeah, also the food. So if I have one problem with Pittsburgh, it's that the restaurants are hard to find. Like, they don't advertise themselves, so you have to like, the guac from Condado is S tier. I didn't have the guac. We just had 3 tacos because we were starving and exhausted, and I'm trying to remember what day that was. What day was that? I want to say it was Saturday, and I can't remember if it was before or after. I want to say it was probably before the furry, like the fur parade, the fursuit parade. So we were like, you know, walking through and oh, I remember now. That was like lunch Saturday, because Papa was giving me shit, and he was Papa, who gave us shit for ordering Chipotle at MFF, was so tired that he wanted to order food at AC, and I'm like, what are you talking about? There's got to be good food around here somewhere. But I did a quick Google and found Condados, and I'd heard good things about Condados, so I'm like, you know what, we'll go there. And he was, the entire time we're waiting outside Condados, he's like, can we just get the food already? Like, whatever we get, like, you know, he was like, if we have to wait longer than 5 minutes, I'm gonna go to get fucking Jimmy John's. Which, to be fair, the Jimmy John's there actually was doing enough business. I don't love Jimmy John's. I think I prefer Subway. And my major issue with Jimmy John's is that the bread there is brick hard every single time I go to Jimmy John's. However, with how fucking busy that Jimmy John's was, every single piece of bread was like fresh out of the oven. And it was actually like the best I've ever had from Jimmy John's. And I joked around a little bit, like, because while we were there, we were talking about like, oh, you know, like why the city loves. I found waffles encaffeinated. That was amazing breakfast. Like, they put caffeine in the waffles. That sounds crazy. If Pumpnut ever goes to Chicago, I'm gonna recognize him by his Pumpnut volume. That's you might be joking, but honest to God, someone did. Someone did hear Papa scream and was like, "Oh, hey, you're Pumpnut." Oh, it was the funniest like thing on the planet. Because that was the name of the place, Waffles and Caffeinated. Okay, that sounds really, really good. The problem is getting up early enough to actually go to a breakfast place is very, very difficult at conventions. And Preston disgusted and like, why would you do this? Way for dinner I had a whole box of cereal. That's a lot of food, Silken. Jesus Christ. But yeah, so Papa's voice is unmistakable. Oh, for sure. I've described it before as being the like, Papa's voice is the it's like the vocal equivalent. Hi, thank you, Dalos, for something.
The board. Papa's voice is the vocal equivalent of like a cup of coffee. You hear his voice and you're immediately like you're immediately energized like a board. But yeah, and there's one thing that's for me very difficult about conventions is actually like going out for breakfast. Because I just, when I get up, I just want food. I don't want to wait for like a convention. Like, I don't want to wait for a local restaurant to be clear enough for us to get food. I didn't tell Papa where the Headless Lounge
was when it was 2 steps left of where we met. Oh, yeah, that sounds about right. To be honest, though, I can kind of understand where he's coming from. It's very difficult to see in a fursuit head. This reminded me of just how difficult it was. In one moment in particular, at the can't remember if no, it wasn't at the actual fursuit parade, but it was
cringe.
before.
You're
going
being cringe.
Trying to catch these hands?
Welcome on the field, Coyotes. Glad to have you. Before we ended up going to the fursuit parade, we were trying to figure out where we were supposed to go, and you know, so the fursuit parade has, like, it basically takes place on a street that runs through the convention center, which means that. Welcome on, King. Glad to have you. Let me go and actually get a shout out for King the Bear Spirit. Very cute, big, flesh blood bag of a bear. But yeah, So the fursuit parade goes through what is basically a road, like it's a road that goes through the convention center, you know, it's sectioned off for the fursuit parade, but there are literal cars that would drive through that, so it's like also like the center of it's like this really cool. I wanted to walk down it, but we literally never had time. You can't just call me a burr, gosh, too bad. You burr, get called burr. But in the middle of this, there's like this lovely like walkway that's like slightly curving, and it like runs between two like basically water fountains. And apparently at night it has like colors on, like it has like lights and stuff. But also, this is the most I think ADHD I think I've ever been on stream, because I keep getting distracted from things. I'm distracting myself with stories within stories. Let me go ahead and actually hide this image so we can see the. Oh no, that's not the right one. We're looking for fursuit. So it's kind of, you can't really see it because this is just like a waist up. But there's like a step down here into an actual road, and that step down is Satan incarnate. If you are in fursuit, because you straight up cannot see it. And if you're like suit feet or anything like mine, they are basically just pure like foam, construction foam, and then like something to like take a little bit of blows. So you're feeling that like step in your joint if you forget it and like miss it. Oh, hold up one moment. Let me go ahead and skip. There we go. Oh shit. I almost tripped on it. That's the thing. It's like because so like trying to find the area we were supposed to go to actually like wait for the first convention to start. I'll look at the cutie. Oh, thanks. Like trying to find the location for the fursuit, or trying to find the location. Welcome on in, Sundog Vinny. Glad to have you. Oh my god. Trying to find the location where we were supposed to go. I basically did that where I basically had my leg fully extended when I hit the drop. So I can still feel it in my right knee because that's where it happened. It is a very, very rough feeling to basically get like jolted. But it was a good thing that it happened then, because it didn't happen during the parade. And the thing about this parade, there are so many people that went to the fursuit parade. Like so many people. Like it was probably around 2,000 or 3,000 people at the fursuit parade. Not even just like people who were fursuiting, just the people who were watching the fursuiters walk by. And there were so many kids and like, you know, all like the adults, and it was honestly wild to see how much Pittsburgh loves the furry community. Which like one of the conversations we had in Jimmy John's was like, because I mentioned that, and I'm like, wow, you know, this area loves the furry community, because you know that's kind of atypical here in the States. We're there's a bit of a connotation with furry, and then someone's like, yeah, you know, around the 2000 and like you know, around the 3000, what the 3,127 suitors in the parade, and at least that many watchers. That is a huge parade. Oh my god. Darky Soft, urge to hug. Welcome on in here. I'm glad to have you. The bird is back. Time to get the double A guns. Oh, let me go in and shout out Hero and Kaizi. What? 13,000 attendees? Jesus Christ. Oh, I just added Kaizi. Okay, there we go. Go follow the wolf and the big bear, wolf bear. Just at me. Good job, bird. Shut up. My brain is omega fried from this trip. But yeah, 13,000 fucking people. Good God. So yeah, just walking, you know, I guess it was even bigger than I was expecting. Like they had like tents with like chicken skewers set up. There was an ice cream thing there. You know, there was like just about like it was a huge, like this fursuit parade was a huge deal. And it was when more furries go to a convention and students go to some universities. Biggest con ever recorded. That's awesome, actually. And I think low-key, I definitely experienced kind of the magic of going to a fursuit parade, because there is something about just being surrounded by people who are not putting on airs. You know, people who are just being themselves and being goofy and having a good time. Where I was just like, you know what? I'll just be goofy and have a good time. And I waved at a bunch of people and I gave out the high fives, and it was so much fun. It beat MFF by 3 people. Oh my god. That suitor looks so suplexable. It'll be the fun time at con, working and watching. Oh, for sure. There's so many stories. I'm pretty sure there's a FreightCon in Chicago, which I think I think the fact that it only beat the last MFF by 3 people strikes me that if it's close, but I think MFF probably takes it as being the new big FurCon. Starkey gave the Prince's wave. You're joking, but I did that as a joke too, where I'm like, give them the princess wave, like, you know, index, like rotating around the index finger. I'm gonna pack and ready to leave to work. Glad you got back home safe. Have a great time. Have a full wonderful time, and thank you for being here, King. But yeah, like I literally did the wind princess wave at some point because I'm like, you know what, just joking around. Thank you for the stretch. Also, like this, because I mentioned it earlier, I can't thank enough the person who just took this photo, because I had 0 shot. Like, so the actual parade itself, the parade part itself, they take you to a room up on like the 2nd floor of the convention center. You walk through the convention center. There's a lot of people there. You get on the escalator. You go outside onto the street. There's a lot more people there. And then you like do a loop around the street, and then you get dropped off in a basically like a holding area where you can take your fursuit head off. It's I want to say probably like 10 or 15 minutes. You're not actually walking that long, which is why it's honestly insanity to me that like people were, you know, that it went on for like 2 hours. Because how many people is that? Especially because like, oh, whoopsies, that's unrelated. Were there any guests of honor? I'm not sure. I'm gonna be honest. I think they were probably near the back, would be my guess. Welcome on, Nikki. I'm glad to have you. So, you know, because like being in that parade, there are probably like, I'm sure someone can do the math. I'm literally too blitzed out of my mind right now from exhaustion to do the math. But there's probably like 15 or 20 people that are able to like process through every minute. So if you do like what, you know, remove the 15 minutes at the end, it goes for like 2 hours. So that's 1/5. So it would be 105 divided by 15. Oh, I guess someone did tell me that's about 3,000 suitors. So hopefully your day's been nice and restful. It's been very, very nice. I'm still massively physically exhausted because walking all day, every day for an entire weekend, and also going in a fursuit parade took every last ounce of my physical energy. I have all of the mental energy though, so we are streaming right now. But yeah. So the fursuit parade was like legit the first time I experienced like genuine kind of magic. I know my friend recorded the whole parade and it was about 2 hours worth of footage. But that's the thing, it's like when we were told, because, so, you know, me and Papa, we go through the parade. We're one of the first ones done. So we're one of the first people that are like, you know, we can just kind of go back to our apartment because we're both exhausted from 15 minutes of walking in a hot and sweaty environment with wearing a massive, you know, basically a massive coat and jacket. We make our way back to our hotel. We basically pass out there for an hour and then we go back out and hang out. And I think that was when we got like Jimmy John's or whatever. And someone was like, yeah, they're about halfway done with the parade after an hour. And we're like, oh, thank God we got there where we did. I could not imagine waiting an hour to go through the fursuit parade. The poor, like, I think, who was it? Fatal Calamities or Juarez. Udivus has some with an hour and a half, 1.5 hours of footage. I'm hoping more images were taken. Just because, like, literally this is the only, like, these are the only ways I got pictures of my suit, because I was too exhausted to suit the first day we got there. The only time I was able to suit was during the parade, and after that I was like so busy with friends and like, you know, meeting people that I didn't have an opportunity to fursuit again on Saturday. And then Sunday we had to check out of our hotel room and it was raining, and I'm like, there is zero shot with how little energy I have left in my body that I'm going to be doing any fursuiting today. Papa, the absolute mad lad, Freddy, absolutely did go out with his fursuit again, and I'm like, are you crazy? And he's like, yeah, no, I'm doing it. And I'm like, okay, cool. He did it out of my car that was parked in the hotel parking lot. Yeah. Oh, speaking of the hotel, this is actually another image. Freddy's just built different. He really is. It did inspire me to work out more, honestly. It's like I need to actually like work out so I can do more fursuiting stuff. Then my friends got me an image of me in suit. I didn't get any scenic shots though. It's like there are people there I know for a fact who are suiting for multiple hours a day, and I cannot begin to imagine what that must have been like. Also, just to go show you how much Pittsburgh loves the furry community, every single hotel in this event had a associated like fursona drawn by actual furry artists. Let me oh shit, no, hold up a moment. This was our hotel. Champ the hamster, Burb got swole. You can join for us and give everyone uppies. I won't lie. I am tempted to actually like go to a gym at some point just to start getting more practice. 8 hours in suit Friday and Saturday, so I may have had Papa B. You for sure had Papa B. That is horror. That's so much time in fursuit. But yeah. So this was our conventions, like this was our hotel's like assigned fursona, and everyone had one. Weston actually had because like off the top of my mind, there was these things like all over the place. I know the convention center had like a secretary bird one that was there. I went to the Weston, which is like the like that's the con hotel that's like literally right across from the convention center. Snake here, welcome on in. Can you work out advice? Save so many people to turn to. Oh, for sure. The gym will improve your mental state. Probably. Welcome on in, Semi-Solid World. Glad to have you. I can't. Were you at AC or if you were at AC? I'm so sorry I missed you. I was legit constantly doing things like that. That's my way to cancel out like I you can't have post-con depression if you don't have energy to do anything afterwards. I think mine was the skunk at the DoubleTree. That was where Papa stayed last time, and I don't know if it's still the case. I guess to be fair, that was probably like Papa loved the DoubleTree, but also, you know, we were staying at another place, Hampton. Welcome on, Cool Cats, glad to have you. I miss my college's fitness center. I have Beat Saber as like kind of a primary plan, although there is going to be some limit to the amount of working out I can do with Beat Saber. I might do Beat Saber streams, and if I do Beat Saber streams, those will probably be really, really good for health and wellness, because I can do it for like 5 or 6 hours. Yeah, so our, you know, this was our hotel's like assigned fursona, Hampton. And yeah, it's the lady at the front desk of our hotel was so excited to see all the furries coming in. She was like, she clearly this like she's, you know, she was in her like probably mid to late. Beat Saber is good for upper back. Heck yeah, I'm gonna get swole from Beat Saber. She was probably in her like a mid to early 40s, like early to mid 40s. And she was like so excited to see all the fursuits and like all the furries coming in, and she's like, yeah, I hope I get a package. Welcome on importation. I'm glad to have you. What's Chris?
Rats. Welcome back, Starky Morph, short for Starkinson Morphelius 3.
Third. Welcome on in Chaos. Glad to have you. Oh my god. But yeah, oh, okay, but we got a button press. No. Chaos, no. Why did you do this? It's too early. You can't. No, not Mariah Carey. We still have like 3 months before she can escape. You've done what? You've unleashed Mariah Carey upon us, Chaos.
Sorry I'm late. I was hanging out with some homies.
Say less.
Yeah, so our the front desk lady, was a very, very sweet, kind of, you know, middle-aged woman, 4 months. Okay, you're fair. It should be. Fucking not even Halloween can hold back the inevitable surge of Christmas taking over all of time. But yeah, the front lady at the desk was super sweet, and she was like, "Yeah, I'm waiting for a package to be delivered because
Why are you a loaf?
why are you a loaf, cats?" But yeah, she's like, "Yeah, I have a I want to get a package delivered." She's like, I ordered like little ears, like, you know, like an ear headband to welcome in the furries, and it was so. I think it's really cool to have like a convention where like you know, the normies get to be involved, because it was clear how much fun like even the like, you know, the non-furry adults were having in this whole situation. It's so wholesome. It's like Anthrocon, I think, is the family-friendly convention, which is funny because every furry convention is gonna have some
amount of every furry's convention's gonna have some amount of fucking. Also, thank you for boring me as I'm about to talk about that. But yeah, there was a lot of kids about, and the cool thing about it was a lot of those kids had fursuits. Like, a lot of those kids had, like, there were at least like 5 or 6 kids who had fursuits, and I'm like, huh? Like, that's a lot of money to sink into an item that they're gonna outgrow that quickly. Like, you know,
these kids who are like 10, 11, 12. Which does bring to mind the only drama I heard from AC was apparently Starkey had some amount of fucking. I did not. Furry conventions will always have some amount of fucking in the room parties, but you know, hashtag DemiLife. My tail was pulled by a little kid and I hated that. That's fair. The only drama I heard from AC was apparently there was a 13-year-old kid that was wandering around the dealer's den unsupervised, which is not great, because even though, you know, it is a family-friendly convention, there were definitely people out there. They were covering the bits, but there was definitely some amount of not safe for work material that was just available to these kids in the dealer's den. And so at some point, I think it was, oh, what was it? I think it was early Saturday morning. I'm hanging out with Dex and some friends, and we're in the dealer's den, and we just spot some police. Like, there's 2 police officers that are walking around, which is like, you know, welcome on in here and glad to have you. No fucking, not even a little as a treat. Listen, if I get to know people beforehand, the fucking can commence, but also I gotta have that like emotional connection first. You know, the DMs, the chatting, the just chatting stream where I talk about dick and cock. No, that's not happening. Why? What am I going on about? But yeah, so that was literally the only piece of drama I think we heard out of AC, was just that there was this kid who was unsupervised and who was wandering around the dealer's den, which I can understand why. It sounds like the police were just like, hey, do you have an adult? And the kid was like, shit. and then they had to pull him out, which is understandable. Because, like, there were kids who were wandering around the dealer's den, but they also had, like, adults who were supervising them, which I think is, like, in my mind, like, there's, like, oh, think of the children. Like, no, children can 100% be at these conventions. They just need an adult to supervise them. Welcome on to Redencon. Glad to have you. Thank you for the 2 months of 2 months subscription. Pull out, I swear to God. I heard...
Oh my, Bird is back.
I'm back. I'm back from my trip to AC. I heard Freddy got kicked out of the convention. Does that not count as AC drama? I guess it's a little bit of AC drama, but it's also understandable. So Freddy was going to do for his channel a Indognito series about like you know, haha, like what's a furry? So he brought, and there was a problematic fursuit there also. That wouldn't surprise me, but also those people are usually yeeted. Like they're usually ignored at big conventions like this. So he was probably just like, yeah, who cares? Everyone's doing other things. So Papa Mutt was doing a thing for Indognito for his channel, his YouTube channel, his Twitch thing. where he was going to go to AC and interview furries and be like, hey, what's a furry? You know, like in his flesh suit, to pretend not to be a furry. And he was surprised to find out that he needed to have basically he didn't have a press badge, which he figured was a thing that was more organizational based than individual based. So they basically said like, hey, you can't record things here, like, you know, you don't have the press badge. We're not kicking you out from the convention, but we are saying like you have to get out with that recording equipment because it's not allowed here. So he did technically get kicked out of the convention, but not for like, it wasn't drama. It was like, hey, you just needed to fill out the paperwork, which is good because now we know for next time that like probably better to just get a media badge. And that was Saturday, I think at like 5:30, because it happened right after the streamer meetup, which also like there were so fucking many people at the streamer meetup. Like I recognized a lot of people at the streamer meetup. There were also so many people at the streamer meetup I did not know. It's like it goes to show like even as connected to the furry community as I am, like if, you know, with my hands in many a furry stream bucket. There's still so many more out there. Like, talking, because I hang out with Ambrose a little bit, and Ambrose was like, I don't know anyone here, and I'm like, I know a couple of people here. I met Kelif, because streamer meetups are also not necessarily just for streamers, they're also for people who are in streamers' chats, because it's like, oh, you know, the streamer is going to be at the stream meetup. So like some regulars from Skies and you know DA's chats. Streamer meetup was the same time as the content creation panel, which sucked. I thought they were off by I want to say that they were separated by an hour, but also like the streamer meetup did kind of extend into eternity to the point where they had to get kicked out by the next people who were using that room. But yeah, the streamer meetup I saw Kelif. Kelif is I lurk in his stream sometimes. You think, oh, he's so wiggly and like so excitable in VR chat, like that's just a character. No, Kelif is always moving in real life. He's always like low-key dancing or like jiving or something, and he's so sweet and like genuinely one of like the nicest people. So I highly recommend Kelif, who is a kangaroo VR chat content streamer. I saw Setsuna, which I was surprised Setsuna recognized me. I'm gonna be honest. I wish I got to meet the amazing Strike more if I watch all their streams, I swear to God. So Setsuna, formerly Rock Candy Wolf, super sweet. I legit didn't think he would know me because I was in his stream a couple of times before I started modding for DA, which, you know, DA and Setsuna, that was 5:30 p.m. Okay. So there was overlap, unfortunately. If you were there for the first half an hour of the streamer meet and greet, you could have left, but then also, like, you know, because I think the other one was like how to get started in a saturated market of furry content creation, and I'm like, that's a mood, but also I just want to hang out with people. I'm much more for, I'm not a huge fan of panels. I'm definitely much more for meet and greets. So Setsuna, who like I was not expecting at all to know who I was, because holy moly, is that the famous Starkey Morph Best Burb? Hi Kella, welcome on in. If I could have gone to AC, I would have gone specifically for the purpose of meeting my favorite Twitch streamer, Starkey Morph. I'm gonna lose my goddamn mind. You are all in the pact with me. You have biases. Yes, my friend, and that's why I attended. Oh, okay, that's understandable. That's very understandable. Yeah, so because like, so Setsuna usually streams in the mornings about the same time that like Kaizi and DA stream. So unfortunately, I'm just never able to appear in his streams because I'm usually modding for someone at the time. Oh my, okay, no, hold up. This is gonna be a DMCA moment. Skip. There we go. What the fuck is, what was that jump scare in this playlist? I acknowledge my biases and also I love you, nerd. Yeah, so never able to appear in his streams except for like a couple of times when I was like just starting to get into the furry sphere. And he was like, oh, sorry, Morph, I know you. And I'm like, excuse me, you fucking do? Wait, how? I was so caught off guard. And he was like so sweet, you know, because if there's one thing you learn very quickly about being nerd, I'm not a nerd. You can be a nerd. You can be a nerd and a nerd. I lean into my biases. I lean into you. The nerd, how dare? Because like there's basically two kinds of content creators. There are people who are like content creators, like, you know, there's people, I would say, content creators with and without egos. And usually you can kind of tell who is who by how willing they are to talk to people, like, just casually. And I was kind of blown away to be like, oh yeah, Setsuna is just casually, like, chatting to me, and I've literally, it's been like a year since I was able to make one of his streams because I've been so busy with moderating. I had that with Dano when he appeared in my room. Oh, for sure. Dano, I feel a little bad for Dano. Dano got fucked by the airport system too. Because Dano was supposed to, like, me and Papa were driving up on Friday. Dano wanted to get there by Thursday. Turns out he got screwed over by the airplane situation, and he ended up making it to AC like Saturday. He literally showed up before us despite not coming with us, that way he could show up earlier. Like he wanted to show up earlier than us, but like airplane situation, I think the like his flight just kept getting delayed until like literally 2 days later, which is absolute nonsense. I feel like at that point they should literally refund you the ticket and just give you another flight, but you know. So yeah, Dano was very, very busy. I got to meet him very briefly on Sunday morning, and that was unfortunately it for meeting Dano. But I did meet so many other people. I finally got to meet Maple Doe IRL. Maple is so sweet. She's one of the sweetest people. She was in her suit at the furry meet and greet, and it was like, oh my god, Maple, sweetheart, are you okay? And it was, yeah, he accidentally scheduled for July instead of June. Oh no, oh that's terrible. Oh, that is unfortunate. I didn't realize that that's what happened. I just know that like there was something that came up at the airport that like he basically showed up after us. But yeah, I think one of the like absolute joys of furry conventions is just being able to meet people that you know online and are like friends with, and then getting to like really actually put a face to the name.
Please, do not push the
Because like
button.
I had never met Maple until that moment. I never met Kelef. I never met, you know.
Muchas gracias, afición. Este
No.
para vosotros.
No. Haunting. Thank you. Do not touch that monkey wrench. It will kill you. But yeah, the joy of furry conventions, and I would argue conventions at large, is getting to meet up all the people that you know online, but have never seen their faces, you know? And just having an opportunity to meet so many people with like similar interests. And you know, it's like this convention I met Kelef IRL, I met Cody IRL. Gosh, imagine getting to meet Starkey Morph. Well, come on in, hurry slowly. Glad to have you. If you remember, you were with Corporal Payne and Adam Mimer and that group. I only found out due to Bui telling me. Oh, okay, that makes sense. I glad I did get to see Bui. Wait, fuck, I just realized I never had an opportunity to meet Karmer, despite... Okay, this is the story. I was hanging with a bunch of that group. For sure, it was awesome getting to run into you, and also welcome on in, glad to have you. Karmer is a very, very sweet bean. Karmer fucked Papa's life on Friday. It was really funny, but welcome on in, Gary, and glad to have you. Which Cody? I know a few streamers named Cody. Formerly Curly Cody. I also got to meet Snugs. I met so many people. Snugs the Husky I met. Curly Cody I met. Someday I want to meet you, Starkey, someday for sure. I have a welcome on in, Gary. Glad to have you. Let me go and give shit up for Garian. I have a local convention happening this weekend. I'm considering going, but I know basically no one, so I'd be solo wandering around. That's fair. Then you can just like go for a day and just see if like you meet people. Like that's the thing. The thing that I learned, like, because after talking with Papa about it a lot, furries are awkward. Like, you have to like, I basically went, how's PCD? What's PCD? Post-con depression? Oh, post-con depression, that's it. I don't get post-con depression because I go so hard at conventions that I have no energy to be depressed. Like, literally, I'm still so exhausted from the convention that, like, the idea of having done anything else there genuinely is like, I would have perished. I'll also have to break my neck to look at you in the eyes. I'm 5'2". Oh, for sure. Yeah, like, I literally, like, you know, midway through Saturday, I'm like, I'm exhausted, but I need to keep powering through so that way I can have the most fun I can, and I had an amazing time. So it seems to be working. So tired I ain't having time for depression. Exactly. I went to F3UA and spent too much time in panels and trying to get to panels, barely got to talk. That's the thing. I think unless you are really into the thing that the panel is for, it's like you're probably better off going to more meet and greets and trying to meet friends you know online. There are some panels I wanted to go to, but I didn't have time because I was just meeting and talking to so many people. I was tempted to go to the Shibari panel just because I think it's kind of like, I think Shibari is very fascinating, and learning how to do that would have been cool. And unfortunately, I missed the Avian meet and greet because it literally happened almost as soon as it possibly could have. Curse you early birds for giving all of us night owls a bad name. But we said you were very tall and I have someone and had to somewhat look up to him. Yes. Okay, actually, let me go and see. Let me see if I can capture. This is. Let me see if I can find a this picture. This is Minty, who is a follower on Twitter and also like a regular in the stream. I want to say Minty is probably what, like 5'9", 5'10" maybe. And I'm here on the left, and my face is covered with a sticker. I look a mess because AC is a busy time. And yeah, I'm very, very tall, which means I'm very easy to spot. People were like, low-key, one of the absolute joys of being a content creator and going to a furry convention, I think I'm at the perfect size where it's like I get recognized, but it's not like, you know, I'm 5'9". Then yeah, you would be about his height. You would literally be chest height. You'd be the same height as Chill, who is in fact chest height. I forget to probably reach your shoulders too. But yeah, so Minty ended up wanting to get a picture, and you know, I'm Starkey boob height. Yeah, like that, you know, running around, it's very easy to spot me because it's like, you know, it's like just look for the tallest person nearby. It was harder at MFF because MFF had a lot more suitors about, which I thought was kind of interesting. Or rather, I see the shirt Starkey always has on. Listen, Hollow Knight's a great game, and I'm a simp for that game. Heads also 5'9". That means heads butt you in the chest cutely. Welcome on to Feel Sponge. Glad to have you. Stonky Morb. 5'11", but taller suit due to soul. That's the thing. It's like, if there's a lot of suitors around, I look more normal height. But like, if you grab me near like someone who isn't actively in a suit, I look like an absolute giant creature like this. Like, this is, I think literally, oh god, you can't see it. Shoot, why is my thing not moving? Hollow Knight is a great game. It's so good. But yeah, so I actually took a bunch of pictures with different people. Curly Cody, welcome on Insulsicator, glad to have you. Curly Cody said that he, I gave him the Borb to censor my face with, because I am saving that for if I ever hit partner. It's basically like, yo, if I hit partner, I gotta do like a big old reveal and show everyone my face. And he was like, hell yeah, like, can you send me your Borb sticker so I can censor your face in the image? Had a great time in AC. I had so much fun. My body is so physically exhausted. But like, I'm so excited and I'm just talking about it like a big old goof. I will say, because this remind me, kind of to the right of where we're standing in this picture, one thing that kind of caught me off guard, this convention center had unironically like pretty solid food. Like, it was pricey, yeah, but it was like genuinely decent quality food. they had shrimp tacos that I was like, you know what? This is a solid, like, even setting aside, like, you know, expectations, like, that was a genuine, like, 8 or 9 out of 10 shrimp taco. Admittedly, it was also like $12 for 3 of them. So it was basically a snack. That was what I had. That was one of the, like, basically 2.5 meals I had on Friday. But yeah, let's see if there's anything else I missed. Let's see, there, cancel. There we go. Tall yes, tall burb. I need to look through my, like, tweet timeline. I do remember getting to, so Papa was driving. Papa is driving us into Pittsburgh, and as we're driving through the tunnel into Pittsburgh, Papa is blasting at the absolute peak volume in my car. He's blasting Caramel Dancin' and Hard Bass Slut. If you've never heard Hard Bass Slut, it is very, very immediately audibly horny. And I was like at the peak volume of my fucking car. I'm trying to think. And so we're just like, hi Pittsburgh, we're here. Oh, and if there's one thing about Papa is just like, Papa, I think, does not give a single shit about, like, he does not care that much about, like, being normal for the people around him. Cause, like, oh my god, I just fucking remembered. Oh, so on the drive there, we had to stop for gas at some point, and we stopped at this gas station that was in the middle of the, you know, oh nice, you got pics. Okay, let me go ahead and put up the pic while I'm talking about this. So me and Papa stop at a gas station, and you know, it's a gas station kind of in the middle of the rural area, so it's naturally going to be, like, you know, kind of sketchy. And they had on their channel they had on their TV One American News, which is basically Fox, but even more, like, you know, Nazi. And I pointed out to Papa, and he's like, "Oh hell yeah!" Hey, I'm glad that this place finally getting rid of them gays. And I'm like, Papa, you can't make jokes like that. We are literally in public where we could straight up be shot by these dipshits. I joked that when the tunnel opened up, they were going to the intro of Skyrim since it was very smoky. That's the thing. It's like driving back through that area, because I don't think it's smoke. I think it's condensation, some amount of it. Because, like, you are very much high up in the mountains to some degree. And so, like, it's just naturally condensing on the mountains. You do not want to say that in Pennsylvania. Yeah. So Papa's just casually, I'm like, Papa, I swear to God, if you get us killed, I'm gonna fucking end you. And just a lot of stuff on that level, and I'm like, oh my God, Papa, especially in Pittsburgh. Let me see what else I have in my, let's see what else I have in my images that I took folder. I have the government assigned persona. I have the picture of my sticker on the, there's a bunch of residual smoke coming from the President Kenneth, so it's probably smoke. That's fair. Let me have this belief that's definitely incorrect. Let me see. Oh, so there was so at the rave on Saturday, there was Jesus. Jesus was at the Anthrocon rave. And what makes it even better was that this was not the first Jesus I saw. Let me see if I can. Where? Okay. Can I not? Oh, here it is. You can't really see it because this guy's head. I took a couple images. There it is. Other Jesus. There was 2 Jesus cosplayers at the Anthrocon rave, and the best part is, like, okay, so the Anthrocon rave was like a lot. It was actually so much fun. And someone caught footage of me at the Anthrocon rave, and I'm clearly having a good time, even if I do look a bit of a goof. But yeah, so one of the things about the rave is that they basically made circles a lot, for people to dance or do whatever. And both of the Jesus cosplayers at one point did a fucking square dance in the middle of these circles, and everyone was losing their goddamn minds. Oh, it was amazing. Oh, I haven't even told the story about how Papa saw God. That's right. That's something I should probably talk about. Okay, so because the content talking about the rave reminded me of did you see the Papa? I did actually. Hold up. I actually have I turned it into a TikTok. Because let me go and probably hide this. No, stop. That's not what I want.
Shows the racial demographics the same.
Is that when I called you? That was when you called me. Okay. Hold up one moment. Let me go ahead and nope, that's not the right one. Window capture. So I caught literally mid like collab between Fiona the horse with the massive gahongas and the Wiggle Fox. And at the rave, and it was just amazing. she had a Captain America shield at the time, and she just squatted down and let it use as a platform to dance the Wiggle Fox on, and it was so crazy that I was like, yeah, hell yeah, I got the perfect shot for it. But. Okay, so the story about how Papa saw God. Papa was going raving Friday, which, okay, so I guess I should probably start this evening at the beginning to explain kind of my situation and why it turned out the way that it did. So I was meeting up with some friends who went to a really, really lovely Italian restaurant. I made mistakes at the Italian restaurant by getting just way too much goddamn booze. Like, so much booze. Holy fuck. Which is to say, so at this Italian restaurant, they had a very, very strong pour of a Long Island iced tea. Strong enough where I could still taste the alcohol. And it was, like, balanced. Oh, so welcome on in, Arden. Glad to have ya. You know, so it's the 9 of us at this table in this very lovely Italian restaurant. And I see what happened. No, it gets worse. It gets actively worse. And I'm gonna throw Ambrose 100% under a bus for this. It's literally his fault. So we go to this Italian restaurant, absolutely lovely. We have basically me and everyone else have like 2 drinks. I made the mistake of bringing up a Long Island iced tea, and then afterwards I had a variant of a Negroni. A Long Island iced tea is basically pure 40% alcohol, and Negroni is more or less 30% alcohol. It's a lot of alcohol I fucking drank at this Italian restaurant. So I'm pretty. By the time I'm leaving the restaurant, I'm pretty gone. Not gone, but definitely on the farther side of tipsy, leaning into drunk. So, I'm like, okay, I have to go get, I have to go to the rave, to get ready. Like, I have to go get ready for the rave, go get my tank top, my harness on. And I get back to the apartment. I'm like, okay, where's, just hanging out, getting comfy, like kind of writing the amount of alcohol I'm on. I'm having sips of Southern Comfort to like maintain the level of inebriation. I was fine. Pop Mutt comes in. He's like, yo, Pop Mutt, I get a call from Pop Mutt. He's like, can you open the door? The edibles just hit. So like, Karmer, very, very sweet being Karmer. Karmer had basically said like, okay, here's some light edibles, and like if you want something that'll hit harder, here's this thing. And Papa is like, okay, I'll take the heavier thing. Only to turn out to be way more than he's used to. So I'm drunk. At this point, I am decidedly drunk, comfortably drunk, but still drunk. And Papa is seeing God, the highest he's ever been. And at that moment, Chill calls, and Chill's like, hey, how you doing? Like, are you having fun? And I'm like, yeah, I'm having fun. Papa's currently fucking blitzed out of his mind. And Chill is like listening to me yell at Papa, and Papa's like kicking his feet. Like, he is so high that he's like, why does it feel like I'm working out my muscles? Only to realize that he'd been kicking his feet without realizing. Like, that's where he was at. I'm like, Papa, you have to go sit down. Like, you actually have to sit on the bed. And he was like constantly moving. And he's like, I'm sitting on the bed. I'm like, you're literally fucking not. You are standing right there. So I have never had to babysit someone who's high before. I don't know what to do. If I were sober, I would have probably handled it better. The problem was, I was drunk. So I'm like, okay, we need sober perspectives. And we were going to go to the rave with Ambrose, Ambrose's girlfriend Zeta, and then two of Ambrose's friends. And, you know, they, you know, Papa's like, oh, you know, please don't let him see me like that, because, you know, it's understandable. He's basically massively inebriated. Note yourself find Starkey room party at the con. They don't actually party that hard. I can't even lie. And I'm like, Papa, I'm drunk. I'm like, because it's at a point we're pointing like, do we still go to the rave? Ask them if they want to make out. If they say yes, you slap them. So, you know, we're like, okay, we'll maybe go to the rave. And I'm like, I don't know if it's like good idea for you to go to the rave. Like, because I'm very much used to dealing with drunk people. So like, he's like, yeah, you just go on to the rave without me. And I'm like, I don't know that's a smart idea. Like, I don't know that I want to leave you alone in the room. Like that can't be a smart idea, right? He was like, no, it's fine. I'll just sleep. And to be fair to him, he ended up being right. Like he just basically ended up passing out after, you know, welcome on Insider. Glad to have you. After, let me go and shout out for Cider Martin. After we went to the party, or after all that, like, basically, like, at the point where, welcome on in, Chow, glad to have you. At the point where Zeta and Ambrose left, Papa did just basically go into his bed and pass out. He was unconscious. In his own words, he saw God. Everything was moving in bullet time. Even his memories of it are in bullet time. So, you know, he was clearly not, like, he was clearly gone. And I'm like, I have been grown up to basically be like, you do not ever leave someone who is high or otherwise inebriated alone. You don't do it. It's like, you know, those people can seriously hurt themselves. But I'm drunk. I'm easy to sway to go have a good time. And he's like, yeah, you should go to the rave with Ambrose and Zeta and whatever. And I'm like, I don't know about that, man. Like, I had them come in to basically give me a sober opinion, only to learn those fuckers weren't sober at all. They were drunk. And they're like, yeah, no, you should probably stick it. They ended up giving me the good advice, which is good. But also, Ambrose, I will fucking curse your name, you bastard. Because I was fine. I was legitimately fine until Ambrose literally texted me the day. Okay, so Ambrose, Zeta, and their two friends come in, and we're like, you know, we're kind of living it up in the room, a little bit of a room party situation. Ambrose drank himself sick. That was the next day. That was the day after. That was the rave we actually managed to go to. So Ambrose, you know, I can't remember if Zeta basically had like Crystal Skull vodka. I don't know if it was the actual like Dan Aykroyd Crystal Skull vodka stuff or what. You know, up until this point, I'd been sipping Southern Comfort, so I was still pretty, like, I was still comfortably drunk, but I wasn't gone. Fucker pours me a full, like, 4 or 5 ounces of vodka and then hands it to me. And drunk me is like, yeah, I can do this. I couldn't do it. I couldn't. There was 0 fucking shot. It was over at that point. And the thing is, I basically downed it. I downed it, like, he handed me the cup and I'm like, I downed it and I'm like, this sucks. And then, you say Starkey. I was drunk at this point. I didn't have good decision making. I needed these people I thought were sober to make good decisions for me. And no, they were already drunk. Oh, I'm gonna kick Amber's. I'm definitely finding y'all if I make an MFF. Oh my god. So at that point, it's like, that was the fucking death knell for me. Like, Papa can't go. There's zero shot he's going to the rave. That sounds scary. Yeah. Yeah. Like at that point, it's like no. It's basically as soon as the alcohol hit me, I'm like, there's zero shot I'm going to that rave. I will literally vomit, and I did. I did later on in the bathroom. I ended up basically not being hungover because I waited until I was sober enough where I knew I would wake up like relatively not hungover. So that. But I feel bad for Karmer though, because I texted Karmer and I'm like, Karmer, what did you give Papa? And he's like, I'm so sorry. I thought he could handle it. And I was like, no, you're okay. It was Papa's mistake for fucking around and finding out. But yeah, the next day was the one where Ambrose got fucked up before the rave. I don't remember how much he had. I didn't drink anything that night because I was having a headache, not related to alcohol. I don't know what caused it, if it was like air quality issues or like dehydration or whatever. That was Saturday. And I can't remember. I think Ambrose is admittedly a lightweight when it comes to alcohol. Con dehydration, it wouldn't surprise me. Ambrose is admittedly a lightweight when it comes to alcohol. And Papa was like, yo, here's like, welcome, Jeffrey, glad to have you. You know, Papa's like, oh, here's all these moonshines I got at the fucking, remember the gas station I talked about where Papa was like talking about, was joking about like, oh, the gas station full of the gays that will, like the gas station that hates the gays. Like he got fucking moonshine there. And so he's like, here we go, Ambrose, like you want to sample all the moonshines and then finish it off with a couple shots of vodka. I definitely saw him hanging out with Zeta. Zeta was like basically the person who was keeping him upright at the rave. And at some point it's like, hey, have you seen Ambrose and Zeta? Like, cause they just kind of disappeared. I eventually left the room only to be approached by her, and she's like, can you go check on Ambrose? Like, he's throwing up. And I'm like, I checked on him. He was fine. He was not unconscious. He had water. And I'm like, he's okay. He has his water. He's, you know. So we basically ended up trading, seeing each other way too gone. But yeah, the rave actually was like a lot of fun. Like I showed you the video of running into the guy with there was the guy with the Wiggle friend, and who was dancing on Fiona's Captain America shield. But also there was the two Jesuses who square danced. There was a lot of fursuiters there. I can't, after having fursuited through the fursuit parade, I fucking cannot imagine for the life of man, like actually, you know, going to a rave in a fursuit. Like that was just like, those people must have been absolutely burning up. I'll admit, I found a cute guy at the rave, very, very handsome. I gave him my number and he texted, like, I'm proud of myself for giving this guy my number, and he ended up texting me back. He's located in like super far away, like basically far enough away where it would be like, you know, zero shot, but still. I don't know how my friend did that. It's like, definitely as we were leaving the rave, we saw someone out there who was also walking around with a like full like a rubber suit, and it's like, oh, there was also someone who had a rubber fursuit. Orsian, thank you for the follow. Glad to have you. I cannot for the life of me imagine how you fucking dance in a rave with a rubber fursuit. That has to be so steamy, Jesus Christ. To be fair, I think once it fills up with sweat though, like the heat transfer becomes a lot better. So like it probably just becomes like wearing a second set of skin, but also up until that point, geez. Did you say rubber fursuit? Yeah. I spotted him in the actual rave itself. They're stewing. Welcome on in, Goose Scoop. Glad to have you. Let me go and get a shout out for Goose Scoop. Not the Starkey sweat from Chill, but also I'm kind of right there with you, honestly. There was a guy with like a rubber dragon fursuit. There was a guy who had just like a rubber skin suit. A lot of people who had like pet suits, I think is the name for it. It's like the Lycra with like certain prints, but like it's breathable. I know what we like, Burb, understandable. He was too cute. But yeah, so like there was a lot of people out there that had like the pet suits. Okay, rubber fursuit goes sweat sound. That's the thing. Lycra. Yeah, exactly. Welcome on, Minty. Glad to have you. You're being served to summon support for the crime of being too tall. I showed this earlier. Oh, whoopsies. That's I definitely showed it earlier. The image you sent me over Twitter. It's like, yep, that is about right, isn't it? Yeah, so the pet suits at the I saw a lot of, that's the thing, if you go to basically any furry convention, you're gonna see a lot of pup hoods. Because there's kind of a lot of overlap between the furry and the pup hood community. Starkey is Did you see the Arcanine pulling around a cart? There was drama happening with that. I did not. The only piece of drama I heard about was I don't mind the pup hoods. I don't mind them either, as long as it's like, you know, I was trying to post them, but Muskrat had put me in the Twitter detention center. Understandable. I don't mind it either. My personal, like, I'm not into the pup stuff. It's definitely outside of my personal comfort zone. But as long as it's not being like pushed on me, I'm fine. The one that people thought was a plush. Wait, okay, so what drama was there at AC with the Arcanine with the plush? Was there a person in the cart? I don't mind them either, considering I own one. It's just, I think for me it's like, you know, if I'm wanting to do something intimate, I definitely want to see the face, because like the lack of expression with the pup mask, I'm like, it gives me anxiety. But yeah, the only drama I know about that happened at ASC was the 13-year-old kid who was walking around the healer's den, and the police had to be like, "Hey, do you have a? It's a good time to take a break from Twitter." Twitter took a break. Yeah, that's the fucking funniest thing. Like, so much happened at this convention. Like, so much shit happened while we were at this convention, because apparently, Twitter's like contract with Google servers like fell through, and they didn't have a replacement. So Twitter, like, Elon Musk straight up lied. Like, this is my understanding, for legal reasons. If you sue me, like, this is a literally hearsay. I'm not trying to in any way condemn the company, but also, but played to me as a source of comfort. You know, like the picture of the cheetah getting a pet, and it looks so caught off guard and relaxed into the person's hands. Understandable. My understanding is that the contract with it was a bitch suit, and that was the problem. It may be the same person who complained about the female horse fursuit. Ew. Yuck. Because here's the thing. Like, that's because this is a family-friendly convention. That's, yeah, okay, no. Throw that in the trash. Like, that's not cool. Like, there were a lot of kids walking around this convention. And, like, most of those kids were pretty cool, because they had guardians who were watching out for them and making sure that, like, you know. Also, drawing myself with an underage kid going to a panel that shouldn't have been happened right before a goat scream up. What the hell is a bitch suit? It's basically like a fuck suit. It's like a suit that like you basically get like bound into, and then leaves your holes open to be fucked. It's like that's too much, man. And the fact that it's simultaneously, if it is the same person who was like, the kink thing where your arms are to your shoulders and your feet go up your butt, you put up your butt, yeah, that's more for Folsom than Anthrocon. Yeah, exactly. Because here's the thing. I'm more cool with kids than a lot of furries are. I know that for a fact. I don't mind kids, because kids are fundamentally doing their own thing, you know? It's, like, not their fault that, like, I think kids get used as a bludgeoning tool a lot for, like, oh, think of the kids. Like, no. In this convention confirmed in my mind it is not at all kids' fault that they get used as a bludgeoning tool to be like, you can't talk about pink stuff. It is 100% the parents' responsibility to make sure that they know what their kid is saying. Because like, I was in the Anthrocon, I was in the Anthrocon, you know, dealer's den, and there were definitely things like you could easily like, I remember picking up one of those like mouse pads, like the booby mouse pads, and it was hiding a bigger version of the booby mouse pads where they had the like nipples fully shown. I was like, oh shit, like let me go and cover that up. That stuff is easily findable for a kid. But also like, there were kids who were wandering around and they had adults. The one kid who wasn't wandering around, like the one kid who didn't have an adult that was at the fucking dealer's den, had the police be like, hey, you need to have an adult to be here. And apparently one of the kids that got into the fucking, like, into one of the more suggestive things, like they just had like, hey, you have to have an adult. Because that's literally what all of this should fucking be. It's like, kids can 100% be in furry spaces. They just need to have like adult consent and approval. That's all it's ever needed to be. Anyways, this is my soapbox. I guess any video I found on Twitter that said person, I obviously don't know if you can show it on stream, it shows what I'm talking about. That's fair. Child friendly is more like parent friendly because kid isn't really gonna care. It's the adult's response. Yeah, that's the thing. It's like child friendly is just like code word for like you can just like, leave your kid here and ignore them. Like it, you know, AC I think is genuinely one of the most positive experiences for a lot of those kids because I saw a kid wandering around with an agender flag. And I was like, hell yeah. As an agender person myself, that is so fucking sick to me. Because that kid is getting so much affirmation by being in a space full of adults who have gone through what he's going through. That's gotta be like one of the most affirming and positive experiences in that kid's life. And he had like his adults that like, you know, he had his parents or guardians there. And it was genuinely like so heartwarming to see this moment of like this kid wandering around, just like getting to experience, you know, all these aspects of themselves. And it was all like, you know, it was all taken care of. Like it was, the adult were there consenting and making sure that he was being watched after. That's all, you know. It was in my mind such a sweet moment though, like just to see that. And I was gonna see all the kids wandering around. Found out when we sent it to you. Maybe. Send it to me over Discord. Yeah, like, and they're like, even like from the kids who were like just there to have just there to have fun around haha silly fursuiters. Like there were kids there with fursuits. These kids had fucking fursuits and they were just wandering around having a good time. And I'm like, that's adorable. Let's do Telegram, but yeah, Discord's probably better. And like these were nice fursuits too. Like they were very, very adorable, honestly. Like really, really well crafted. And part of me is like, that's awesome. Part of me is also like, that's like $1,000 worth of work and material for something that they're gonna grow out of in like 2 years. So I'm like, but also like I'm glad that those kids were like, you know, because it's gotta be such a cool fucking thing as a kid, right? To be able to be like, yeah, you know, I have the... Okay. Yeah, that's a problem. That is for sure a problem. That is definitely... That's understandably trauma-inducing, and welcome on, Crub. I'm glad to have you. I would want a minimal age limit. I wouldn't want anyone having to make sure most of my language would be safe for work. That's... Just pay Hearth the puppeteer, distract them with the little puppet guy next year. And there's also some amount, like I know there's like weird drama around Hearth. Not for anything he did. Welcome in. Thank you for, oh my god, 13 months. That is so long.
13 months with the handsome bird, let's go.
Like the guy who was being carted around in a Arcanine fuck suit. Like that's definitely understandably problematic, and he probably should not be allowed to go to that con anymore. But there's some amount of like fake drama around Hearth, who was the puppeteer guy, because he's a Therian. Like he identifies strongly with foxes, and I'm like, if it's, you know, as long as he's not doing anything problematic, like if he's just like, you know, strongly identifies with foxes, that's fine. As long as he's not acting on any of those impulses, who cares? I know the person carting them around, and yikes. That is... Yeah. It's definitely a little bit, oh. Yeah, that ain't cool. I don't like that. I don't like that one bit. No, can't. I'm not, that's too much. That's too much. You fucked it up. You have crossed the line for sure. That's, yeah. But hey, the thing, that's kind of the thing, I think, with, I think it's part of why furries are, like, maybe the single best, like, community when it comes to self-monitoring. Man, I hate furries. Same, though. Because there are gonna be so many people who try to pull bullshit like that, and we just yeet them. Like, whenever we find out someone's like earnestly problematic, they usually get yeeted from just about every fucking platform. Like like this guy for sure is not gonna be allowed at Anthrocon or probably any other affiliated fucking conventions. And others are working on with Twitter if it was fine since the Kiki stuff was covered by a Arcanine plush suit. Like, it's clearly a kink thing. Like, you can't claim that the kink is covered when it's the entire reason he's on the fucking cart. I met the person carting them during the parade and he seems very nice. And I really need to repaint the shoes now that I'm seeing them again. Anyway, we've got to bounce for a recording thing. Hope you have a great... For sure, thank you for stopping by, Minty. It was really, really awesome getting to meet you at AC. Have a wonderful evening. It's like... Just, like, if you're gonna do that, go to MFF. Just go to MFF. AC is not the place for it. Furries suck. And here's the thing. It's like, you get one. It's like every furry, like, you get one. You're allowed to fuck up. Like once you do that once, you're just not allowed to return, because there's too much of a risk of it happening again. So like once the first time it comes through, it's like, yeah, you're just gone. You're not allowed to return. So and honestly, MFF is the place for it. I still love telling the story about being like, oh, like, hey, I think I recognize that fursuit. Oh, for sure, it is this person I'm thinking of. I'm gonna go say hi. And then I saw him being led around MFF on a chain and harness, and I'm like, he's busy. He doesn't want me bothering him. AC is the most accepted furry convention in the world. Stuff like that happening there makes it hard for non-furries to not judge us. Here's the thing. But also, like, I think it's also important to look at, like, the furries who are pushing back and being like, yeah, this is unacceptable. Because it genuinely is. If there are going to be kids at your convention, you can't save it for the fucking room parties. Jesus Christ. Like, I get that some people have, like, fucking, like, you know, exhibition kinks, but A, don't do it at the fucking convention where there's children, and B, save it for the fucking room parties with your friends. No one wants to see that shit. It's, like, literally all there is to it. There's no more, you know... Welcome on, Truth Watcher. Glad to have you. We're talking about apparently the piece of drama that dropped from AC. But yeah, like, that's as far as drama goes, I would say that AC is relatively drama light. I hope that AC, and surprise, surprise, the Arcanine Twitter account is solely an account to post his kink stuff. Yeah, I hope he's, my hope is that he's probably, like, banned from going to AC again. Maybe MFF. Like, that's genuinely an unacceptable disregard for, like, the kind of vibe that we're trying to create with AC, and people trying to defend. That's unacceptable as well. Like, come on. I try to stay away from drama unless I'm someone involved in or about to be in the line of fire of it. Here's the thing. I have my fingers on a lot of drama pulses exclusively for the purpose of not being involved. I know about a lot of drama that goes down in the backgrounds of the furry streamer community, and I just don't actively get involved, because if I did, like, you know, it's exclusively for the purpose of steering clear of potential drama, like, involvement. I saw a post just like that. Like, no, just don't do it. This one's not even drama. This is just everyone being like, you have the reasonable people who are like, this is not the time or the place to do something like this. And then you have the crazy people who are like, let me put my kinks on display in front of children. Like, no, get the fuck out of here. Get off Twitter. Actually, you know what? Stay on Twitter. Everyone else is moving to Blue Sky. And besides, Twitter, if Elon Musk is in control of Twitter, it's definitely going to turn into the pedophilia platform. Wow, welcome on in. Take over 10 months. Goodness gracious.
So many months, almost a year.
I try not to get involved in drama. Sadly, was stuck right in the middle of one and didn't know what to do since it was my first time happening to me. My personal stance on drama, especially between drama of multiple people that I am friends with, is just to be like, I'm not getting involved. I'm gonna be if you guys are gonna be nice and respectful to me, I'm gonna be nice and respectful to you. I'm not gonna get into he said, she said bullshit, and then I move on with my life. Oh, no.
Hello. I actually get asked this question a lot in my personal everyday life. And the answer is because I start my day by drinking.
Drinking what? Drinking what? What were you drinking? I only get involved if it's close to me or calm and willing to listen. That's the thing, like, I'm willing to listen to both sides, but I'm not about to get fucking involved and become the judge, jury, and executioner of every single fucking drama instance. Same, there's one thing on drama I've been involved in since it was through mutual friends of mine, but it was my own streamer friend group. That's his job. His job is to loaf. But yeah, it's like, just be kind. Just be kind to people. You know? And like, also like, don't fucking fall for tribalism bullshit when it comes to drama. As soon as drama becomes tribal, it's like I nope the fuck out. It's like, you know, us versus them. I'm like, okay, cool. So this is basically a nothing burger. It's just two people hate each other for unspecified reasons and trying to justify it. Instructions unclear. Bonk the burb. How dare you? But yeah. So I think with that genuinely piece of, you know, I tend to not ever get involved in drama. When I do, I try my best to be compassionate and reasonable. That's fair, but also like, I tend to just be like, I'm not listening to it. This is y'all's problem. Like, I'll listen to friends. I'll be like, yeah, okay, you know, explain to me as best you can, like how you're feeling in that whole situation. But like beyond that, I'm like, it's not really my place to get involved in drama, nor do I want to, nor do I have the energy to. That having said, the fucking Arcanine situation is so clearly like, it's so clearly stupid, like, because drama in my mind has the potential to be so exclusively based on perception and like preconceived notions. When it's something like this, where it's like, oh, like, you know, someone's in a fuck suit being dragged around a child, like, con with children at it, like that one, there is a very clear, very binary answer of, no, you do not do this under any circumstances. I think it's important to have friends that call you on BS and don't pile on bad habits. Exactly. But if we start fake drama by shouting it's you, then angrily approach, we start making out. Ha, just kidding. Unless... It's like... It's good to it's exactly, and like the idea of like calling your friends out on their bullshit is kind of exactly why I can't do tribalism based like drama. I can't be angry with someone based off of someone else being angry at them, you know, because like I need to have like substantive reasons, like, you know, proof that the drama was, you know, very real and very meaningful before I get involved. And even then, I don't get involved. I just talk to people and be like, yeah, okay, let it out. Like, you know, you need to voice your like feelings of hurt about the drama, then who cares? Like, I'm here for you. I'm not gonna go after the person who hurt you because that literally does not make any fucking sense. It only exacerbates the issue. I'm the judge of bullshitosity. Start turf wars like they do in Monster Hunter World. Welcome on to Volanos. Glad to have you. I'm gonna give a shout out for Volanos. But yeah. Outside of the Arcanine situation, I was very pleased to see how little drama there was that came out of AC. Oh no, Chill's gonna give me shit because I shouted out Volanos before they had a chance to. There's the Kaizy look, the Kaizy weird. Welcome on to Volanos. But yeah, get wrecked, nerd. As yeah, like because going to MFF, MFF was a lot of fun. I heard that there was a lot of I need chill weird for situations like that. You just need to start streaming, nerd. Going to MFF, there was a couple of situations I heard about drama. Apparently, it was a fist fight at last MFF. This is all hearsay, by the way. And there was this one I personally experienced, having stayed at the actual MFF hotel. There was a lot of fucking ambulances at the MFF hotel. Like, so many goddamn ambulances. MFF is so big, there's gonna be a lot of drama. That's fair. If I have to be in drama, I usually keep it behind closed doors to stay from public opinion. Exactly. Exactly. Hey, Chris, what's up?
God damn.
That's what I'm saying. Death was standing by an ambulance. Freeze be dropping like fucking flies. I think the final count for ambulances at last MFF was, I think, 6. And there are at least 6 that I personally saw, which is horrifying to imagine. But yeah, I don't think there was a single instance of an ambulance. I think I saw one ambulance, and I think I saw one pair of police officers at the dealer's den, and that was it for things that happened at AC. It was very, very nice to just have like yeah, that's the thing. It's like the ambulances. That was actually something I noted about the fursuit parade. I saw the post of death standing next to the ambulance. I did see people standing, like, you know, dancing in front of the ambulances at MFF. I think it's funny that the death fursuit is dancing in front of, like, that one's at least ironic enough that, like, I would allow it to pass, as opposed to the fursuiters who were just casually dancing in front of ambulances at MFF. Speaking of death, there was a funny when the guy walked in front of the door that led to the throne room when the new king was going through his coronation. But yeah, so one thing that actually I did notice and take note of was that at the fursuit parade, there was a ambulance on standby. And there was a, like, it was on standby. It was, like, behind where everyone could be. So, like, it was clearly just there for if anyone, like, fainted due to heat stroke. Which, like, good. It's like, it's good that it's there if people actually go into heat stroke. Also, Jesus Christ. Like that, how having first sitting myself, I'm like, yeah, you would have to be first sitting for so long to actually go into heat stroke, but also, like, knowing your limits and staying within it is like usually kind of the symbol of like someone who's not going to die of heat stroke. Yeah, I think that's kind of it for my AC stories.
Please, do not push the button. You have no idea what it.
I don't think if there's anything I missed. Let me look at my phone, because I think there was some amount of images I might have missed on here that I didn't pull on my computer. There was the Jesus at the rave, Fiona and the thing. Okay, so that's that in terms of images. Yeah, it's. What about the part where you burned down a nearby Waffle House? We did go to that didn't happen, but me and Papa did on our way back go to a Denny's basically in the middle of nowhere. And low-key, the thing about Denny's is it's like the best food if you're hungry. If you aren't hungry, Denny's sucks absolute shit. It's so bad. I have a fan on me all the times when sitting in called a friend when I needed a break to Carrie's water. Awesome. That's exactly what you need. And I was like, because I saw Bui exactly once. It wasn't even 2 a.m. Denny's. It was like 5 o'clock Denny's. It was like 4 o'clock Denny's. Hello, are you sure that wasn't you? You guys just started the TF2 spy style. It's like, because like we went to Denny's, because like we basically like we're driving. You know, when you're hungry, all food is off. Like we had like one of those like nacho appetizers, and it was so fucking good. And then I had like I got like a burger, and I ate onion rings first, and I actually like at that point I started filling up, and then I ate the burger, and it's like this is the most disgusting burger I think I've ever fucking eaten. Well, you guys were near Wawa. Oh, on the topic of the TF2 spy, I did see someone who did the TF2 spy style cosplay, like basically a replacement for a fursuit, where instead of having a fursuit, they just printed their eating my ancestors I approve. Okay, so Garyans and Devore, got it, noted. I did see someone who was wearing the like TF2 spy style cosplay, and he had like his fursuit like head printed on the mask, and I thought that that was fun because I think I saw one of those in MFF too, but it was also funny seeing it again. I would know if I stole Starkey's suit and masqueraded as them to throw water in the fry oil. Okay. The 10-pound bag of ice in a deep fryer. Can we get a spy versus spy? Starkey and Kello is just poorly disguised. I'm trying to think if there's any. Okay, I talked about getting there. I talked about the Brigida on board. I swear to God, I think that's it for the stories I have from AC. I saw Bui every day since I roomed with many mutual friends of ours. I saw Bui exactly once, and that was literally on Sunday. Oh, I remembered one more thing I wanted to talk about, because this convention I actually did something new that I did not do at MFF. I cosplayed as Stark yesterday in Death's Door. Does that count? No. So last at MFF, I basically discovered about what the deal with Artist Alley was after they wrapped up. So this time I actually did some bidding, and I got a lot of really cool art. And also the story about getting that art that I wanted to talk about was the fact that if you want to experience true LineCon suffering, win more than one piece of art at a Artist Alley auction, because so to give you an idea, like it closed, the auction closed at like noon, you know, or not auction but bidding, like Artist Alley bidding. So the bidding closed at Sunday at noon. So, you know, I was there kind of defending my bids at the last possible moment. I ended up walking away with 3 really, really cute pieces, which I need to probably post to my Twitter. Do you see the werewolf science piece? I did not! Fuck, that would have been so cool to grab! Man. I got a very, it's a small print. The thing that was the most expensive was it's probably like a 4, maybe 5 by 5 inch, basically tile of crows in a a bush, and it was titled sorry, excuse us, but this is actually a private party, and I had to grab it. That one ended up, I had to go up to 110 for that one. But the other 2 I ended up getting for 50, which was a cheetah dwarf, like a cheetah that was also like a fantasy dwarf style, like with, you know, the like beard and the like kind of short, thick stature, which was adorable.
The ball's hardened.
Gary, you're gonna have to make those balls soft. That's your fault. And then the other thing I got was it was just a painting of it's actually the biggest one I got, was a big painting of a like a warrior polar bear. And so you know, bidding ends at 12. At that point it's like there's a 2-hour break. I don't think it was TOS appropriate to talk about, but if you know more, just let me know. Oh, okay, that's fair. If it was in the mature section, that's probably why. Because I did look at the mature section, but also like the problem with the mature section is I want to hang some of this shit up on my wall, and I would have to cover that. That would need to be in like a private space that no one would go into. But yeah. So you know, 12 o'clock bidding ends. I won my 3 pieces. 2 o'clock, you know, it takes them 2 hours to basically mark and like to note who got what. I get there early, and there's already a line. Like, I get there 5 minutes early. There's already like a very, very long line of people who are waiting to go get their pieces. And at 2 o'clock, they just let us all in. It took me literally 5 fucking minutes to get all of my art. And then by that time, the line for the cash registers was already like 40 people long. And so I was on my phone for a solid 45 or 50 minutes while holding these fucking pieces of art that are actually like, they're not super big, but they're definitely like a bit unwieldy on my arm, like basically waiter style, for 40 to 45 minutes. And suffice to say, my left arm fucking hurts from that experience, because Yeah, no, it's not even LineCon 2.0. Because I managed, because the thing with it is, if you show up outside of peak time for registration, if you get to registration way early or if you get to registration way late, like me and Papa literally walked into registration and waited 3 minutes. There was literally 3 people in front of us, and then we got checked in, and you know, because we were relatively late in terms of registration. I would argue that the Artist Alley experience was so much worse because of the fact that I had to hold this piece of art on my arm for so long, the entire time on my phone, and I'm like distracted. And so like when I'm like, oh hey, I'm pushing near the front, and then I actually feel my arm for the first time, like, oh fuck, I've actually like fucked up my arms holding these pieces of art. On a scale of concert to getting Renaissance Turkey, how long was that? Here's the thing. I was also like one of probably the first 100 people in that line. Like, so by the time I left, the point where I was at the line was maybe the 3rd way mark through the line. Welcome on in, Dirk. So glad to have you. I was one of the lucky ones who got out of there in sub an hour. For sure, the vast majority of people who were checking out from Artist Alley were there for more than an hour. Very much Ren length, yeah. And the entire time you're holding these, like, you know, based on what you got. Because there was, the cool thing about AC was that there was like a variety of things on sale at the Artist Alley. There was paintings, there was fursuits, like there was woodworking stuff. Wow, Starkey has a belly, I swear to God. And the Dirkster comes in and first notices the belly. Not that I can blame you. If it were attached to someone else, I'm sure it would be quite attractive to me, but it's on me, so I'm like 0 out of 10. If we don't have sponsor perks like some of my friends, I would have waited about an hour. I was teasing, that's understandable. So yeah. I think that's it in terms of the stories I had to tell. Oh, except for the fact that this might be the most time I've ever taken to actually make a proper loop through the dealer's den, because the first 2 times I tried to walk through the dealer's den, I was going with friends, and the friends were like stopping at every, like they were stopping and talking at every single thing and like getting distracted. By the time I'd actually done a proper full loop of dealer's den, it was literally Sunday at like 10 o'clock. It was Sunday at like 10 or 11 o'clock by the time I managed to finally see everything there was to see at dealer's den. Welcome on in, Turvy. Glad to have you. Oh, belly. You want to shout out for Turvy? But yeah, I think that's it for my. Listen, I acknowledge the tiny peak. I swear to God, we know what we like. Fair. Burp. Okay, fine. I'm gonna start playing Celeste soon, at which point we can actually. I'm right here. Understandable. I'm gonna start playing Celeste soon. At that point, like, I mean, I also noticed the title when I first popped in. I didn't want to point it out. Sorry if I ever touched you, or see you, I'm touching that belly. Understandable. Yeah. That was kind of my AC experience. A lot of stuff happened. Like, goodness God, like that. There's a reason I am still just so exhausted from AC, even though I had an amazing time. It's like all of my energy was only with consent. Understandable. Chill moderating the real life hangout. So yeah, that was AC. Hopefully y'all enjoyed the kind of just chatting segment. I'm usually not a just chatter, but I figured since AC stuff happened, today was the day for just chatting. I also might be doing more. We will see non-consensual belly touching. Listen, only if you're okay with non-consensual feet touching. What am I going on about? I'm joking. I'm going to change the game over to Celeste. But yeah, that was my AC. Bernie! Oh my god, welcome on in, Raiders! Thank you for raiding in now and not like just a moment earlier. Welcome on in though. For those who don't know, I'm StarGameMorph, Big A Chaos creating internet variety streamer live every Monday, Tuesday, Thursday, Friday from 6 to 9 p.m. EST. Mostly, I play indie games. However, one occasion, play games that are backed by big corporations such as Nintendo, VR Chat, Prime Software, whatever games happen to interest me. Starkey is not helping his image, I swear to God. Yeah, welcome on in. Welcome on in, Weird Stickman, Sassy FM, and Bernie. Glad to have you. Let's see. What were you up to? You were playing. You were doing art. Excellent. Hopefully, you're drawing more big chunky men. I was just telling stories from AC, and you know, kind of covering all the topics that happened there. And that car crash is my stream in a nutshell. Every single time I stream here is a car crash. Today's car crash was I didn't have voice mod open, and so like the first like 10 minutes of stream were just silence while I played music in the background because my microphone was not getting directed into OBS. Freddie taught you the ways of just chatting. You'd be so proud. Listen, I might turn into a just chatting streamer a little bit when I get my like 3D VTuber. Yeah, welcome on in. How did art go? What we up to drawing the big men? Yeah. I guess since the Raiders just came in, I can go back over some of the stuff that happened at AC. At the very least, like I can show off some of the pictures. Like a quick round of like, oh, here's the pictures. Here is the picture of me in the fursuit parade, which I'm grateful that there was a photographer there who could take pictures. And yeah, it was a lot of today's just been talking about talking about AC because I just got back. I start the game joking. Listen, if people just chatting streamers, how you get discovered. That this is like 50% a joke. Yeah. So like, where's Starkey? We were rocking cozy style. Here's the thing. If anyone here who is watching me talk about AC rave, or here's Jesus at the rave. Here's another Jesus at the rave. Burb Bowie. There was 2 different Jesuses at the AC rave on Saturday. And at one point, while there was a circle formed, they did a fucking square dance in the middle of it. The 2 Jesus cosplayers. My man Jesus. I was gonna make a tweet about like, hey yo, what Jesus doing at the Anthrocon rave, and then hit him with the second one. It was like, yo, there's another Jesus. Let me see. There's also our hotel's mascot, which the thing about AC is like AC is, I think, probably the most well regarded, like amongst the people that actually go to, like the people that host fursuits or furry events. Jesus is showing his fursuit in Nubisoft hamster. Jesus is so fly, he rose twice. So like every hotel had like a little like mascot for AC, and this was ours. And like, you know, at the fursuit parade, there was 3,000 fursuiters who were walking, but there were fucking 13,000 attendees. Pittsburgh loves the furries, and it's a low-key, it was so heartwarming and positive to see. So if you're a furry, I guess Pittsburgh is the place to move. Man, it sounds like so much fun. It was genuinely the first time I ever felt like I could just like let go and have a good time, and it was an absolute blast. As sweaty and like disgusting as I was by the end of the fursuit parade, I was being like a full-on social butterfly moment where I was like waving and like high fives and like dancing and stuff. It's because pits attract furries. Chill. Timeout Arden for 69 seconds. God, I wish I could have gone. It's literally a train right away from me. Oh, and also, there's this place in Pittsburgh called Condados Tacos. The hotel industry is super diverse. Thank you, Chill. There's a place in Pittsburgh called Condados Tacos that's literally down the street from the convention center. That has, yes, you've noticed the borb. That has a like utility pole that is covered in furry stickers, and I managed to get mine quite high up.
There, it's a little bit hidden behind the sign. Oh, okay, well, you summoned the Borb to talk about the Borb. But like this, to give you an idea, like that, where that like red penguin sticker is, you did take it down, right? No, it should still be up there. I'm kind of curious to see if I go to next, AC does get fined for each sticker found in a post. Wait, really? Oh, that's...
I did not realize that. That is unfortunate. Well, because they're a food place, so they basically said if there were 3 ACs, they would be set for a year money-wise. That wouldn't surprise me one bit. Because we joked about like, oh, you know, this convention brings in like what, $13 million to Pittsburgh annually. And the Jimmy John's that's right next to the convention center probably brings in $500,000 of it. Yeah, AC Twitter account said that people need to take off stickers from the polls. Some crews came together to get them off afterwards. Okay, that's understandable. I did not realize. I love how the stream title is still Celeste. I thought I changed it back to just chatting. I was gonna start playing Celeste and then Birdie raided, and I'm like, you know what? Just do a quick one through the stickers. But also, like, we can kind of return to the original. We can go back to the point of the stream, which is Celeste.